Blessings and welcome. I am Tuesday May Thomas, and this is your weekly tarot energy forecast for February 9th of February through February 16th of 2018. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you new subscribers, and thank you everyone for commenting, sharing, giving the thumbs up, liking, and all that good stuff. It means so very much to me, and it really truly helps my little YouTube channel just create a bigger ripple effect so that more people can connect with it, connect with all the messages and the teachings here. And thank you everyone for showing up for the 4D Trinity live streams. I live stream every Thursday morning, and it's all about fourth dimensional consciousness and how we bridge 4D through the Trinity of mind, body, and spirit. It's so deeply and beautifully spiritual, heavily metaphysical, and there's like a regular crew, a community that's beginning to grow that comment and that hang out, and they're starting to comment together and interact, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. I'm so very grateful for you showing up. If you cannot make the live stream, check out my 4D Trinity playlist, and all those reruns are there for you to enjoy. I also have loads of books for you to check out. My new book, How to Manifest with the Law of Vibration, is out, available on paperback at Amazon. All of my links are down below. Join my monthly newsletter at my website and stay in touch. Okay, let's go ahead and begin our shuffle. As you know, or if you are first time visiting, I use the Osho Zen Tarot cards. And we're going to take a nice deep inhale and a full exhale. And we're going to get our shuffle on. We'll connect with our angels, our divine guides, those blessed loved ones, light beings who love us, who have only love and light, space for us, who shine their light along our path, that we may see ourselves in greater light, and that we may in turn reflect that light. We call in our guardian angels, all those loved ones who have perhaps even passed on from this life, that are here still to help serve us, help to hold space, and to finish a part of their mission as they help us complete ours. We thank you, our animal totems, and all of those divinely blessed beings for joining us. I sign myself into the keynote of everyone guided to watch and share and participate in this reading. We are all so blessed, and may we all receive those divine messages that truly serve us, and so it is. So this card, and I promised, and I didn't keep my promise. Okay, very interesting. Remember last time, months ago, like 6 months ago, I was like, oh my God, the wild card. And I couldn't remember what it was or what it was about. Well, we know now, and I'm going to have to cut here and put a little picture of the card that it actually is. And there's a big, long story about it. But basically, this is the card of harmony, believe it or not. And it's been at least a half a year since it came out. But I obviously need to reinstate the picture onto the card. So let's go ahead, and I'm being guided to cut these into twos. We're going to take this top half, and we're going to pull some cards. Oh, beautiful, turning in. I so feel that this month. It just feels so restorative, like a restorative month. Uh-oh. And if we don't pay heed to that restorative energy, schizophrenia could set in. Let's see, source. But that's the truth that's underlying everything. And that is the truth within us, is that source. So I'm going to pick up the second set, and we're going to draw a few cards here now. Traveling. Oh my gosh, we got this last week. It's still up. We're on our way. Okay, here we go. Oop. Stress. Don't stress. Don't stress. Okay, here we go. One more. Celebration. Beautiful. Okay, now what I'm being guided to do is to take both little decks, reshuffle. Oops, we had some poppers that fell right down onto the floor. Okay, so I am guided. Thunderbolt. You know, and it's very interesting because we have this partial solar lunar eclipse. Lunar eclipse? No, solar eclipse on February 15th, which is very exciting and very fun. So let's go ahead and take a moment and lay these cards out. This looks so juicy, and we will not forget about our harmony card that came up. New vision. Oh my gosh, and look, I just changed the lighting. I opened up the lights a little bit, and look what else I found on the floor, that new vision card. Oh my gosh, okay, it is so on. So let's take a look at what we have here. So first of all, our turning in card, and you know our mantra around here, it is meditate, meditate, meditate. There is no better time to meditate but now. And meditation brings us back into the now. Turning in is all about keeping your emotional state of being tranquil, keeping it in equilibrium, keeping yourself mindfully present in the moment so that you can be at peace and be calm. And as well, when we receive the turning in card, it is saying there are messages within you. There are messages that are ready to open and to offer you their treasure. Those messages were not ready at any time before now, but now those messages are ready. You are ready, and you are in a certain place in your life whereby when you hear or receive those messages, they will click certain things into place, which will activate your timelines of this new vision that you've been working on and help you to further gain a certain momentum, clarity, a momentum of clarity, and your ability to maintain an attunement with your authenticity. And it feels that we're all doing really, really good with paying attention and honoring ourselves, listening to ourselves, and making decisions on behalf of the truth within our hearts. We're getting really, really good at doing that. And this card just says, just keep turning in, because the volume is getting turned up in life, right? This new vision card, which we will definitely be referring to here shortly, has been a theme for us for several months, weeks now, maybe a couple months. And you see all these voices, all these ghouly kind of ghostly voices around this person's head. Well, this represents the voices in our own head, and the voices in the world that tell us all the reasons why we can't, all the reasons why we should stop before we even continue, all the reasons why we might fail. Self-doubt, self-sabotage, all that stuff is embodied, and it's all fear. All these voices are fear. Now, these could be subconscious parts of our patterning that are ready to be released. Those could be your own things that you had decided at one point in your life that are true to you. And so now that you're busting out of those levels of truth, you're bumping into them and you're realizing that there's no room for them. They don't fit you anymore, and it's time to release them. But also, this is the static energy of the universe, what I will say is the static energy of the world stuff, right? The fear-based stuff, just those things in the world that is called reality of you're too old to do this, or you're too flabby to wear a bikini, or you're too young to get into this college, or just all the constructs of the world that seem to be very, very firm. And this was a theme last week too, and we can believe them or not. And so again, turning in gives you magic special superpowers that in tune and align you to greater truth. You see that line coming directly up from her third eye, the center of her brain, through the center of her spinal column, up through the center of her head, connecting her beyond the world, beyond those voices. That's where we want to stay in tune with this week. So meditate, 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 okay? Because the schizophrenia is always there on one level or another. Whether you juice and you eat raw food and you never smoke anything bad, or whether you're working on addiction, it's it's a two-mindedness. And it's the complete opposite of this, where we are centered, we are focusing, creating a direct alignment with ourselves, with the divine, and so grounding our emotions and having a sense of our energetic center, and really keeping the mental sphere in a beautiful balance. Schizophrenia is saying, I am not mastering my mind. My mind is in two places at the same time, and I'm being stretched between them, and it's very uncomfortable, and I'm holding on to the best that I can. But the good news is the schizophrenia card is a card of the mind. It's a card of the clouds. And so it tells us, look, if you get stuck in this realm of feeling overwhelmed, of feeling like you can't make up your mind, you can't, like you're being dragged by your mind rather by you mastering your mind, your practice, again, is to sit, is to meditate, is to work on learning how to be still. And don't worry about other people if they're not learning how to be still. You live with a partner and they don't meditate. Doesn't matter. You meditate for you, and you don't need to try to change them or get them to join you unless they really want to. That's lovely. But this is about you. Doing for you what you need to do to keep yourself in tune. So no matter what your environment is like, and we can blame our environment for wanting to pull us here and pull us there and to create all this sort of distraction, yet what's really going on here is that this is about you, turning into you and staying true to you, because this powerful, powerful source energy is here to greet us. Remember, we've been in this cocoon. We've gone from this caterpillar, and now we've been in this healing pod for a couple weeks now, and we're transforming into the butterfly, and it looks like we're not quite there yet. I wonder if it'll be in the next reading, after or right around the time of that solar eclipse. But we're so close. We are getting there. And this is like the egg. This is the egg that we are inside that beautiful soft healing pod of becoming. This is source energy. This is where we give the caterpillar back to source. And the source then takes the caterpillar and gives the caterpillar back wings. You know, this is like we're still in this larva stage where we're still becoming what it is we are becoming, and we're not it yet. And so absolutely, doubts, old fears, those voices in our head, the voices of the world, well, maybe they're right, maybe I really shouldn't do this, I should maybe be afraid to do that. All these fear stuffs will come up, and unless we have a strong grounding in being able to silence our mind and being able to turn in and calm our emotions on purpose, and pranayama is very good for this, breathing exercises, schizophrenia will kick in. If meditation is new for you, I have a meditation playlist, and I will put a link right here for you. There's all sorts of guided meditations, short ones and longer ones, and I know they will serve your metaphysical well-being, your multidimensional well-being. So this is a power player card. This is your fire. This is the source of you. This is the seed of creation within you that is waiting to be birthed, waiting to be born. Again, though, if we do not keep ourselves emotionally, and it has to, especially to do with the emotions this week, if we do not pay attention and allow ourselves to be mindful of where the emotions want to move this week and whether we're being swept away by them, or if we can honor them, acknowledge them, definitely give them sacred time and space to be felt, yet we want to allow that process to happen so that we don't get dragged by them. Because again, if we don't, then the source energy turns into stress energy, because this energy is huge. This energy within you, this is massive. This is creator. This is the creative. This is source. This is God. This is love. This is the divine thread of light that is the backdrop and the divine presence underneath everything that we think is real in the world. And this is within you. And this week it's saying like, hey, I'm activating to another level. And because later on we have two major arcanas and one of them is Thunderbolt. So we're still in the preparation phase. And because this source is, it feels like it's activating bigger and bigger. And you know what I'm getting? I'm getting like a Rubik's Cube kind of energy where it's like click, 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 you know, click, 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 like a combination lock. And then when those, or like the Mayan calendar where there's several different calendars at once that are moving in different directions or oppositions, but then they align and then boom, and then something happens where they click and woo, and then it becomes like this massive shift that no one's ready for unless they're ready for it. And if we're not ready for it, then it can turn into stress because it is a lot of energy. Oh, now I'm getting it. So we are so coming close to the butterfly, to that cocoon opening, to us breaking out of that cocoon. Yet, if we do not know how to manage that new energy, the energy of the butterfly is very different frequency from the vibration and the energy of the caterpillar. Who you were before is a very different vibration from who you are invited to be and become and embody, which is only ever more truth, more and more of the truth that's within you. Yet, if we resist it and we don't do those practices that help us keep in center, and we allow ourselves to get off center and to be pulled by both, many, even more than two directions, this is how it can feel. It can feel very, very overwhelming to become enlightened, which is ultimately what's happening. We're reaching new levels of enlightenment. And if we're not doing the work to prepare this divine vessel, it's just meditating. I say it like it's just meditating, but it is. It's becoming like like a requirement, but a gentle requirement, where the more that you do it, the more that you recognize, like, how can I not do this? It becomes an innate part of your daily lifestyle, if you would like to call it that, if that resonates with you. It becomes a part of your way of life. The more and more you do it, the more and more you realize how much peace, calm, time, and space you have within your breath, within your thoughts, in the spaces between all the places you need to go and the things you need to do and the people you need to meet. So there's no room for stress when we have a regular spiritual practice. Because the Creator, this divine source, the divine source is ready to click into a new Rubik's Cube, right? A new pattern of you is emerging. It's just beautifully emerging. And you are ready. We've been doing all the preparatory work for this. You are so ready. And so these cards so far, this reading wants you to stay ready. It's saying, like, don't get lazy. Stay with your practices. Stay with those things that help you feel grounded. Even if it's, taking 10 minutes in your morning, not going on the phone, not doing anything, and writing in your journal and getting in tune with your feelings, or just having a place to acknowledge and honor that sacred becoming that's happening within you. You know what I like to do? I like to go to the park. Of course, I like to take my staff, but I like to go to the park and just take off my shoes and lay on the grass under a tree, look at the light coming down from the leaves, look at the sky, watch the clouds, and, like, stop the world, slow down everything. There's no phone, there's no music, it's just being present and just feeling the wind, being silent, and attuning. And also with the barefoot and laying on the earth, sure, you can lay a blanket down if you'd like. We're getting in tune with what is called our true resonance, the Schumann resonance of the earth, that 7.8 Hertz, that is said to be the resonance of the vibratory frequency, the blueprint pattern of all life and creation on this planet. And so when we do that, meditation included, nature especially, puts us, like, directly in tune with that rhythm. Everything in our body, mind, right, spectrum, is given the correct conditions to recalibrate, to reach homeostasis, to rest and digest. If we're in a constant state of stress, of moving in many different directions or more at the same time, then we are fragmented and our energy becomes weakened, right? Where we focus, where we ground, where we breathe, where we practice on purpose, tuning into the divine, tuning into your breath, tuning into the sound of water, whether you have a little water fountain or you put it on your headphones, ocean waves, whatever it might be. But these things, they change our brainwave states. And it's in these altered states of consciousness that we remember our oneness with the divine. We remember the sacred power within us. And that's where we're at. This week is not about going forth and hitting things with the hammer. This is about the simple knowingness, the knowingness of your divine nature. Ooh, God, that's so juicy. I love that. So this bottom row is so fertile, so powerful. So again, we had traveling, and we had this last week. So, and if you missed it, there's this little tiny speck. There's this person on the path next to my finger, and that's supposed to be us. And look at how far up the path goes. And ultimately, look at where the path takes us. Back to source. Back to the sun, back to the light, back to the love and the truth that you are. Back to source, back to source. We are on a journey right now. And the journey is you becoming what it is at this next incarnation stage of your life. I think about life in this way. In my life, I feel that I'm on my fourth, in this one life, I'm in my fourth incarnation. I still have the same name. I've lived in many different places around the world and such, but I've also worn many different hats over the years of my life. And now I'm wearing a very different hat as an author and a speaker. And in a lot of other ways that I'm choosing to live my life. Without those old stories, without those old subconscious patterns telling me where I need to go and what I need to do and how afraid and how limited I am, or my time is, or my creativity is. We are on a journey and we are traveling. And this literally can mean you're going to be getting on a plane, on a train, hitchhiking, going somewhere, doing something, meeting some amazing people along your journey. Ultimately, the journey is always within. And that's where we're going. We're in this cocoon, in this healing pod. We're going within and we're tapping into source. And we're saying, here I am. I am that I am. I am that love and that light. I am that source. And we're releasing those stories. We're releasing those old parts of ourselves. Because remember, we've been working on this new vision. And ultimately, we're hardly working at all. We are simply allowing this new vision to come to rise. Remember, look at us down on our hands and knees at the base of this card. This is a a major arcana card. And we're moving through different levels of consciousness, the square into the physical, the triangle. Oh, we're getting into the conscious now, the spiritual, and then the circle is like the ultimate consciousness, the super consciousness. So this pattern, this new vision that we've been working with, that's been revealing itself to us, which is a part of our myth, a part of our story, a part of the sacred order of what we're here to do. If you feel like you don't know what you're here to do, listen to this meditation that I did. It's from last week's 4D Trinity. It's an affirmation meditation, and I pray it will resonate with you. But it brings us into just recalibrating a sense of that soul purpose. And ultimately, the more that you relax and that you create the correct conditions to unstress, it's very difficult for you not to know what your purpose is. And your purpose doesn't have to be something huge and like you're going to change the world and become an astronaut and solve the problems of cancer or of AIDS, or it could be, but it doesn't have to be. It is you resting and relaxing in the truth in your heart in every single moment. And because we live in a quantum universe that is constantly shape-shifting, changing, all we have is the now. And so moment by moment, you resting and relaxing in your truth is your purpose. Whatever that truth is in your heart. Now, we run into stress and schizophrenia and imbalance as we move along timelines in this life, and we do not honor those senses of truth. We do not honor the truth in our heart. We make decisions around that truth without honoring it and committing to it. And really, that's what this solar eclipse is bringing into us on February 15th. It's all about commitment. And so, while we're in this cocoon, before we break out very, very soon, there's this new vision that we've been working on. There's a pattern, there's a path in your heart that has been knocking, that has been inviting you, that has been waking you up slowly to deeper parts of yourself. And it's really kind of cosmic. It's not limited by your worldly being, yet this worldly being that you are is the vehicle through which you will be able to bring to earth all of those visions of self that are within your heart. And it's really just allowing that. Saying yes to certain opportunities that create more of those circumstances whereby that could come to be, and saying no thank you to those that are opposing it and that are opposite to it. And we do that all the time. I've spoken with several friends in this last week, and I can't tell you, or maybe I can, how many of them have coming to this realization where they're like, oh shit, I've been making decisions based on safety, security, and comfort. And while I do feel kind of safe and I do feel kind of secure and I'm very comfortable, I'm bored with my life and I'm not living my truth. I'm not living how I want to live, where I want to live, and like when I want to live. And so it's like these deep, deep things that all those little decisions we make every single day are creating the foundation for the next moment, And it's the odd thing because all there is this moment, is this now. Yet, this moment now, even though the past doesn't exist, is a byproduct of all those decisions and choices you've made from your past. What you've said yes to, what you've said no thank you to. And to the extent of that you can be at peace and relaxed and content right here, right now, and feel that you're in your authentic, integral space and time, is relative to how honest you were in the yeses and no thank yous that you've made up until this moment now. And so in this moment now, continuing the momentum of honoring one's truth, so that as we move through this unreal, yet seeming very real timeline, right? All these timelines through the grids in this universe that we find ourselves on this planet, in this world, we begin to congregate and allow, like that Rubik's cube, the divine alignment, people, places, and things to better align us with living heaven on earth, with just having a good time here, just enjoying it, blessing it, and feeling blessed. Your new vision wants to take you traveling. So you could be invited. So there's things in your new vision that are specific to you and nobody else. Are you paying attention? Be ready and willing to travel on behalf of your new vision. Your new vision might say, you have the opportunity to do a performance or a speaking engagement or to share about your new book or whatever it might be for you, to do an art gallery opening in Germany. Once you get there, all expenses paid, they'll put you up, they'll help you set up your art, but you have to get you and your art over there. But once you're there, you're totally taken care of, hotel, food, da da da. And so it's like, oh, it's like these things, yet because we allow the divine order as it serves the highest good, and as we let go and let love, of course, the divine circumstances will come to us to meet us so that we're never without. And as long as we continue to say yes, then the appropriate people, places, things align so that divine synchronicities occur. And our travels are met with great ease, abundance, luxury, and joy. I pray that resonates. And if not, come back and watch this again. This is beautiful, thunderbolt. So here we go. You know, this is like these little Kundalini experiences, that really happen like this, where there's like a little burnout, a little blowout, when we perpetuate these qualities. When we're in two places, when our mind is in two places at once, rather than being focused, clear, concentrated, centered, grounded, aligned in our truth, and when we allow ourselves to become stressed. And several months ago, I remember, it was in December, I like had the most stressed month in a long time. It was probably over a year since I had that much stress. And you know, the funny thing is I kept saying, I think even on some of these tarot cards, I was like, oh my God, I'm so stressed. I'm so stressed. And of course, what did that do? That magnetized, that created more stress in my life just by me saying it and affirming it. Like the chemicals in my body were released. And as soon as I stopped saying that, even though in my mind I was like, I'm still kind of stressed out, but I was just stop one thing at a time, just stop saying that, get even deeper into my meditation, deeper into those practices that ground me and all that good stuff. It was like day and night, like it just shifted and I could feel it chemically in my body. So why am I saying this? I'm saying this because the thunderbolt is coming, and I feel that this thunderbolt has to do with that first little crack being made in the cocoon that we've been in, our little healing pod that we've been doing all this beautiful, juicy transformation, attuning and aligning with this new vision that's within us, that's within our hearts, connecting with source. And this thunderbolt is like, ba-boom, right? And it's going to start to begin to crack open this safe little cocoon. The cocoon is like the womb. We've been in there. And we've been comfortable, but we've also been doing a lot of shape-shifting and transforming and releasing and healing. But it's a very nice place to be. But here we go. The first crack of light is coming. And if we're not prepared to receive that bright, bright, shining light of source as it comes in and begins to activate and infiltrate all of those divine DNA, RNA receptors within us so that we can activate within our mind-body continuum and begin to bring a different reality into this world plane, for ourselves to enjoy, to embody, and to share, well, it could feel a little like you're getting a little thrown around a little bit. Thunderbolt literally is like a zap of lightning, like a zap of energy coming down and hitting you. But again, what is it? It's that your cocoon is starting to break open, and that light is coming in. The light of the source is coming in. If your body mind is prepared to receive it It will be a beautiful, bubbly, like sensual almost Kundalini experience where you feel turned on, not just physically, but spiritually, turned on energetically. You feel life force in places that perhaps it's been dormant for some time. Or you could have, tears and fears and old things come up, which is fine too. It's not, neither is right or wrong. They both just are. But we have choices in how we can create the correct conditions within us so that our process, right, our experience can be either with greater flow, ease, love, and light, or a few more bumps and I don't know, for me, tears often when I get that thunderbolt like that. But it is a major arcana, so it's happening. And I have a feeling this has to do with that solar eclipse. Ultimately, what is it bringing us to? The dance of creation, emotional well-being and balance. So this card is showing us that, like, look, no matter what, this is your truth. Celebration. This is you, the Holy Trinity, mind, body, and spirit, in sync, in line, in tune, barefoot, dancing in the elements, celebrating life, forgetting those worries, remembering that this just isn't true. Whatever you're stressed about, it really doesn't even matter. Or it does matter, but it doesn't matter. You're deciding not to let it rule your world anymore. And so this lightness of being comes, and like this wild card, which I'll put a card right here, divine harmony. That's the 1 and the 0. That's the 10. That's the dolphins. That's us breathing. This is this next level of meditating, of practicing conscious breath, breathing in through the nose, breathing that light into your heart, exhaling it into the third eye, bringing it back down, inhaling it into the heart, breathing it into your third eye, and recycling that energy within yourself, inviting in the dolphin energy. Look up the dolphin energy totem. It has a lot to do with breath. We can actually breathe underwater. Dolphins can breathe underwater. They have a different temperament and ability to access psychic and intuitive nature, the psychic and intuitive nature within themselves, and that's within us. So this week it's saying, like, these emotions, this is a card of water, this is a card of water from the very beginning. As your emotions are in tune and balance, your psychic, intuitive intelligences that are ready to activate to another level are going to bring you into a greater state of harmony. And again, these little blips of Kundalini activation can either kind of knock us on the floor and get us dragged around for a little while, or they can be these exquisite, sensual, supernatural, phenomenal experiences that help to heighten our levels of awareness and bridge us back to, like, I'm in the world and I'm not of the world. Or as a lot of people like to say, I am a spirit having a physical human experience. So that card, harmony card, the 1 and the 0. The 1 is what we become through our spiritual practices, but we need to become, I will repreface that, we get to become 1 before we reach the 0 point, before we become our own perpetual motion vehicle, before we move through the 0, we move through that ring of 0 point energy. We must become 1 first. And so that's our work this week. And as we allow ourselves to align, attune, and become 1 with Source, all comes to us in great, beautiful perfection. Life is a dance. Life is a dance. Take your shoes off this week. Get into nature. Remember this new vision. It's bubbling up, it's bubbling up. And where is it inviting you to travel? When you meditate and just sit with this new vision. And I mean meditate like receiving, allowing, not like you're trying to visualize, like you're trying to create something from your mind. But when you sit and you just sit with this vision, whatever it is for you, whatever this part of your personal myth and your story is, where in the world does it invite you to travel? Where does it show you being versus where do you think you need to be? Two very different dimensions, right, of experience and of offerings of divine insight for us. So I'm so very grateful. Thank you so much for liking. Hit the thumbs up right now while you're just hanging out. I appreciate it. Thank you for your comments. Again, hook me up with your subscription at my website, tuesdaymaythomas.com. All of the information is down in the description box. Every month I send out a love letter. I keep you in tune with all of my offerings, and I would love to keep in touch. I'm so very grateful. I have music and meditation at my website that you can buy. You can listen. Come check it out. I thank you. I bless you, and namaste.